Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Anyone like to share any wins for the week? Aha moments?
I would like to say that we have to be aware every time you need to do an action that will change things. Your paradigm, your program, your everything comes. So as on those moments, that you have to bring your higher self, bring the qualities, bring the power of your vision, and stay there and ground your energy and move forward. Step in what you want and know that is the only way you can change your reality.
Very good. Yep. When we're going through these changes, it's very important to become more self-aware because you're doing things you've never done before. You're also having to be disciplined, persistent, more conscious. You're truly going where you've never been. And the more you can control the flow of your energy, keep yourself focused, directed, have a plan before you go and do it. The more planning you have, the more clarity you will have, and the less chaos you'll have. So really defining what you're going to do for the day before you do it, and as you go into it, doing things on purpose towards your vision. And if you're not on purpose, change. Immediately change direction, change your energy. You can use the techniques that we're training in the meditation techniques. You guys, we should be live streaming this now. You guys that are not part of the programs yet, we're doing our classes daily, programs on the weekend, and we're also doing meditations as well to learn how to apply this information and be more consciously effective on your day-to-day operations as you're working towards your goals, as you're working towards financial freedom, changing your self-image, whatever it is that you're doing. Everything requires change and conscious attention. So these meditations help out a lot and helps keep you on track. We are reading out of Definite Chief Aim, out of the Law of Success. This month, we also have our seminars going on. This week, we have our Spanish seminar going on tomorrow at 6 p.m. And we will have our English seminar going on Thursday. So you guys are invited. You need to take a look at those dates, get registered. And if you're in the Lubbock area, you got the opportunity to take advantage of being in person. It's definitely worth being here, different energy. The principle of psychology through which you can impress your definite chief aim upon your subconscious mind is called autosuggestion, or suggestion which you repeatedly make to yourself. It is a degree of self-hypnotism, but do not be afraid of it on that account, for it was the same principle through the aid of which Napoleon lifted himself from the lowly station of poverty-stricken to the dictatorship of France. It was through the aid of this principle that Thomas Edison has risen from the lowly beginnings of a news butcher to where he was accepted as a leading inventor of the world. It was through this aid of this same principle that Lincoln bridged the mighty chasm between his lowly birth in a log cabin in the mountains of Kentucky and the presidency of the greatest nation on earth. It was through this aid of this simple principle that Theodore Roosevelt became one of the most aggressive leaders that ever reached the presidency of the United States. It was also through this effort that you were programmed in the behaviors that you have. You see, you were auto-suggested self-hypnosis by the family members of your family. You see, when you came in, you had no information, conscious information. You learned everything from them. So you were hypnotized. Your subconscious is wide open from the ages 0 to 7. And you are being hypnotized by the people, the culture, the city, the districts that you're in. You're being inundated with all their information, and you take that in as truth. And then you begin to think. That's amazing, isn't it? You take everything in that you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell, and then you take those ideas and you begin to think. And thinking calls imagining. So you take all that information in, you begin to imagine. And because life must center itself in some state and then view the world from that state, here you are. Here you are. It's a golden opportunity. It always has been a golden opportunity. Life is the golden opportunity to experience. Experience what? Hearing, seeing, tasting, touching, smelling. It's a beautiful thing. Love. It's all a beautiful thing. But you've never been aware of who you really are, because what's been thinking all this time is all your beliefs, judgments. So this is why it's important to set goals, work towards achieving goals over and over again. Because as you set goals and you achieve goals, you're letting go of who you're not. You're recognizing who you truly are. And you're reorganizing the way you think, patterning ideas in a different manner, the way you would have never done before without that goal and without that persistence of action. You need to have no fear of the principle of autosuggestion as long as you are sure that the objective for which you are striving is one that will bring you happiness of an enduring nature. Be sure that your definite purpose is constructive, that its attainment will bring hardship and misery to no one, that it will bring you peace and prosperity. Then apply to the limit of your understanding the principle of self-suggestion for the speedy attainment of this purpose. Self-suggestion is autosuggestion from yourself to yourself. Now, these individuals, Edison, Lincoln, Roosevelt, Napoleon, all these individuals that were suggesting an idea from themselves to themselves was an idea born of necessity, desire, want. All these desires and wants that they began to suggest to themselves, the Wright brothers. I can see it, Orville. I can see it. Were ideas from a vision, something unseen, but yet they seen the future before it came. So they had to have been suggesting something unseen, but they saw it in their mind's eye and their awareness. It was something being suggested from a higher power, higher consciousness. And then this strategy coming down as lightning bolts onto the screen of their mind. These ideas is what takes man from poverty to prosperity, from the ground to the sky. The principle of self-suggestion for the speedy attainment of this purpose. Now, make sure that you're auto-suggesting positive things. I've seen people suggest negative things to themselves all day long. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. I can't do it. It can't be done. And I've watched this behavior so many times. That's a just suggestion in itself. So you're auto-hypnotizing yourself every time you say, I can't do it. I don't believe it can be done. Every time you don't take the action, you're actually compounding another belief of disbelief on top of your original beliefs. Every time you do not take action on a goal, that's the same thing as autosuggestion. You're saying it can't be done, and you're repeating it over and over again till you conform. Now, look at this behavior and look how subtle it is. You don't even notice it. Every time you don't take an action on your desires and goals for life, that non-action is don't do it action in your brain and mind, telling your body not to act and behave differently. And that do not take the action is saying you're not worthy of the change. You can't change. You're actually repeating the opposite to yourself unconsciously. That's hypnotism. Everything is hypnotism because you're repeating ideas into your mind, into your conscious, into your subconscious all day long, whether you're aware of it or not. This is so important. The psychology behind the mind, the psychology behind belief and behavior, if you don't understand it, you don't know what, you'll never know, and you don't know why you've been getting the results you've been getting. You may never even become aware. And there's a lot of people like that as well. It's said that 95, 97% of people never change. This has been happening since the beginning of ages. And if they change, it's 5, 10%. 15, 20% maybe in their lifetime. Maybe even up to 30. That's rare. Who are you? Where are you at today? How have you been living? Are you truly living the life that you truly desire? What do you really want? How do you want to live? How would you like to grow? How would you like to achieve the life you desire? What would it feel like? What would that taste like? What would that touch and the smell be like? You see, it's through awareness that you grow. It's through wanting and desiring that you grow. But it's through the auto-suggestion if you're telling yourself it can't be done that hypnotizes you into a state of disbelief and misery. It's through the self-hypnosis of telling yourself over and over and over again it can't be done. And then not taking the actions. On the street corner, just opposite of this room in which I am writing, I see a man who stands there all day long and sells peanuts. He's busy every minute. When not actually engaged in making a sale, he is roasting and packing the peanuts in little bags. He is one of that great army constituting the 95% who have no definite purpose in life. He is selling peanuts not because he likes that work better than anything else he might do, but because he never sat down and thought out a definite purpose that would bring him greater returns for his labor. How many of us are doing what we're doing, not because we really want to do it, but because we never sat down and decided what we would do and who we would become? And there may be a large part of you that did decide who I would become, but you only decided because that was your awareness at the moment. I know a lot of people with masters and doctorates that are not happy doing what they're doing, with bachelors that are not happy doing what they're doing. The truth is, I've found a whole wide range of them that do not really enjoy doing what they're doing, but they do it because they think that's what they have to do now. It's not even true either. They're doing it because that's what they know how to do. And they're not willing to change again. They're not willing to change their behavior because it's fear, it's doubt, it's worry. They think they're too old. They think it's been too long. But that's called ignorance. They simply don't understand how their mind works. The reason they're not wanting to change is because that's the same thing that everyone else has to go through to change. People don't resist change. They resist being changed. People have fear, doubts, and worries all day long. And they let that idea control their behavior and never change. We all have the opportunity, we all have the ability. And in fact, some of the greatest people that have changed their lives were normally over their 50s and their 60s. And those are the people that have made large changes in their life, changed the lives of other people. So there's no such thing as I'm too old or it's not the right time. That judgment is your belief thinking and imagining for you. And that's deciding. You see, you don't know the psychology of belief and behavior. Because if you did, you truly wouldn't be doing what you're doing today. And you wouldn't be allowing yourself to give you excuses that you're giving yourself right now at this very moment. You see, that belief is thinking. That belief is imagining. That is telling you what to do and not to do. The higher side of your personality is actually the truer side of your personality. It's saying, I can, I will, I want to, I know I'm more, I know I was meant for more. That is the truer higher side of your personality. The other part that's telling you it can't be done, or are you kidding, is the lower part of your personality that normally controls your awareness and what you do. That's called the subconscious mind. Material mind, a higher spiritual mind. They're all spiritual. Which one's going to control? The higher consciousness or the lower consciousness? The more aware you are, the more spiritual you are. But I've seen a lot of people that are spiritual, that the material mind, their programmed mind, their belief mind still takes over and controls their behavior. And they don't really enjoy how they live either. So it's very important to understand psychology behind the mind, belief, behavior, and reality as you see it. It's more than what meets the eye because it controls the way you think. It even thinks for you. How many times are you at the store? You say, do it, don't do it. How many times are you at the restaurant? Do it, don't do it. And yet the old belief wins. Here again. Moving on. Taking on a new position. Do it, don't do it. It can be done, it can be done. This again is the same duality that you're having from a lower consciousness to a higher consciousness. Really look at what we're doing. Make decisions that you're going to take advantage of learning this new awareness, this higher consciousness. Because if you don't have a choice. You stay where you're at. Maybe you change a little. Maybe you do like everyone else and you change maybe 2, 3, 4, 5% a year. But guess where you'll be in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? Look around you. Look how many people have really changed. This is not an accident. You've got to be aware that this is not an accident. History has shown that if everybody's going in the wrong direction, they're all going to live more or less the same. And history has shown this over and over and again. Not very many people are aware of that. I'd actually follow that 2 or 3%. Take a look at what we're doing. Again, this Wednesday, we have a Spanish seminar, definite chief aim, definite of purpose, and we'll have our Spanish one on Thursday. Everyone have a wonderful day.